Welcome. Today, we explore the real value of these super rare United States Roosevelt one-dime coins in different condition that could make you rich. Let's go. First up, the Roosevelt one-dime 1978. The Roosevelt dime is one of the most recognized coins in the United States. First introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. However, the 1978 Roosevelt dime holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. The year 1978 was notable because of the introduction of the large date variety, a feature that makes certain coins from this year more desirable for collectors. While many 1978 dimes are common, a specific variety, those with a D mint mark and the large date, have captured attention due to their rarity in certain conditions. This dime, often found in everyday change, can still command impressive prices under certain circumstances. The 1978 Roosevelt dime was minted in large quantities, with millions of pieces being struck in both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. However, when it comes to the 1978 D-mint mark, the coins produced in Denver stand out for their size and clarity in detail. In typical conditions, these dimes are worth only a few cents. However, in rare cases where these coins exhibit specific features, such as a color change from oxidation or a dirtied appearance, their value can skyrocket in certain markets. For instance, a color-changed 1978 Roosevelt dime with its distinct tarnishing and patina might be worth up to $20,000 or more depending on the extent of its damage. When placed in the right environment or auction, this coin could even push closer to the $23,000 range, especially if it's in a highly collectible condition with authentication. The Roosevelt dime was designed by artist John R. Sinnock, and the obverse features the bust of Franklin D. Roosevelt with the date and mint mark on the bottom. The reverse features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength. The coin's simplicity and elegance have made it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. In the 1978 version, the mint mark D for Denver is visible near Roosevelt's neck, and the large date variety was designed to accommodate a change in the minting process, ensuring that the numbers were clear and distinct. The error variety with a color change is highly sought after. Coins in a dirty condition, where dirt has become embedded in the coin's surface or the coin has developed a dark patina due to exposure to various environmental elements, are of particular interest to advanced collectors. This type of damage, while often regarded as a flaw, can actually add to the rarity and aesthetic appeal of a coin, especially if it is part of a rare minting variety, such as the 1978 large date with a D mint mark. For collectors interested in error coins or those looking for an unusual and unique addition to their collection, this dime is a fascinating choice. Next up, the Roosevelt one dime 1996. The Roosevelt dime has been a significant part of U.S. coinage since it was introduced in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by the famous artist John Sinnock. This coin has endured as a symbol of the late president's legacy. The 1996 Roosevelt dime holds special importance due to a combination of factors, including mintage numbers, the condition of individual coins, and how collectors view the coin in various states. The 1996 Roosevelt dime, minted in Philadelphia, PA, has a relatively high mintage of over 1.4 billion coins. However, despite the large number of coins produced, certain dimes, especially those in poor or damaged condition, can still see surprisingly high values depending on their rarity and demand among collectors. Although the coin you're examining is in dirty and damaged condition, coins like these have a market value that reflects both the rarity and appeal to collectors seeking oddities and imperfections. Coins with unique marks, such as black stains or specific wear patterns, can sometimes carry a premium, but they are also subject to individual collector preference. In terms of auction value, a 1996 Roosevelt dime in damaged condition might range anywhere from $10,000 depending on factors like age, specific market conditions at the time, and the personal interest of buyers. While this coin would not fetch prices comparable to pristine specimens, it could still hold sentimental or niche market. This dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, designed by Cynic, with the legend "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date 1996. The reverse of the coin displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The P mint mark signifies that it was produced in Philadelphia. However, the black stains and damage you see on this specific coin dramatically alter the visual appearance and value. It's important to note that these blemishes can sometimes lower the coin's grade according to professional grading standards. Though this coin is not an error coin in the traditional sense, like a minting mistake, its condition makes it interesting from a collector's point of view. Error coins often carry higher value, especially when unique features like off-center strikes, double strikes, or unusual wear are present. In some cases, damaged coins might even be bought as curiosities due to the distinctive markings, which could be viewed as part of the coin's history. Collectors tend to find damaged coins fascinating, and there is a segment of numismatists who specifically seek out damaged but rare specimens. If the black marks or damage pattern on this dime is truly unique, collectors might consider it valuable because of its. Next up, the 1987 Roosevelt dime marks a year of stability in U.S. coinage, with the design remaining consistent and familiar to collectors. Roosevelt dimes had already been in circulation for over 40 years by this point, and the series is popular due to the simplicity and elegance of its design, along with its association with the memory of President Roosevelt. The 1987 Roosevelt dime specifically is significant because of the way the large date style was implemented, which was a subtle alteration in some years. The 1987 issue is often considered more collectible in fine condition due to the specific minting style during that period. In 1987, over 1.5 billion dimes were produced across the Philadelphia P and Denver D mints. Despite this high mintage, a dime in fine condition still holds value due to factors like the mint mark, unique date styling, and the fine condition itself, which is generally a preferred state for numismatic collectors. The 1987 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark in fine condition could be worth anywhere from $2 to $15 depending on factors like demand, auction competition, and other market variables. A coin in fine condition is typically considered to have light wear but still retains most of its details, making it more appealing than heavily worn or damaged examples. As with all Roosevelt dimes, the coin features a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. On the reverse features a torch with olive and oak branches. The large date refers to a noticeable shift in the size and positioning of the numbers in the date, which became a point of interest for collectors seeking variations from the standard format. The P mint mark further identifies that this coin was minted in Philadelphia, which can make a difference in the overall value of coins from different mints, even for the same year. Error and collector interests. In this case, the large date itself is not an error, but a design variation that can pique the interest of collectors seeking specific year variations. These differences are often minor, but can lead to significant value increases for collectors who focus on date and mint mark varieties. As such, the 1987 Roosevelt dime is one that remains in demand, especially in fine. Collectors interested in Roosevelt dimes might also look for proof versions or coins with unusual toning, making this coin particularly appealing to those looking for coins in a middle-range state, meaning not too worn and not too pristine. Next up, the 1982 Roosevelt dime is one of the more modern coins that, under certain conditions, can command impressive values in the market. Although it is part of a well-established series, the coin's mintage and condition play a significant role in determining its value. The Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946, was designed by John R. Cynic to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death in 1945. Roosevelt was an incredibly important figure in American history, being the only U.S. president elected to 4 terms. The dime was chosen as the coin to honor him because of his tireless efforts to improve the economic conditions of the United States during the Great Depression. In 1982, the U.S. Mint produced nearly 4.5 billion dimes, making it one of the most heavily circulated years. The D-Mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. However, the 1982 Roosevelt dime remains a noteworthy coin, particularly for those interested in varieties, mint errors, and collecting all issues of the Roosevelt dime series. Despite the massive mintage, certain 1982 dimes, especially those in unique or unusual conditions, can fetch surprising amounts at auction. For instance, a 1982 Roosevelt dime with a D-Mint mark in dirty or worn condition could potentially be worth far more than its face value. Coin collectors and investors often focus on specific attributes of these dimes, such as die errors, weak strikes, or even unusual wear patterns. The coin's dirty condition doesn't necessarily detract from its potential value. In fact, it could actually serve as a form of patina, showcasing the coin's journey through circulation and making it a unique piece for some collectors. While it might not be as valuable as rarer or higher quality examples, a 1982 Roosevelt dime in dirty condition can still fetch anywhere from $100,000 at auction, depending on the degree of wear and the interest among bidders. The obverse of the 1982 Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design is relatively simple, reflecting Roosevelt's dignified image, with the words "Liberty and in God we trust" surrounding his portrait. The year 1982 is also displayed to the right of Roosevelt's head. On the reverse side of the coin, a torch is prominently featured in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing peace and strength, respect. The reverse design also includes the words United States of America and a pluribus unum, with the denomination 1 dime at the bottom. The 1982 coin was produced with the same composition as its predecessors, containing 91.67 copper and 833 nickel. The striking features of this coin remain crisp, even in dirty or worn specimens, though collectors typically seek out those in higher grades. Collectors of Roosevelt dimes often look for specific mint errors or unusual characteristics, such as misstrikes, double die errors, or off-center strikes. These factors can significantly impact the value of an otherwise common coin like the 1982 dime. Even in a dirty condition, if the coin has a known error or unusual strike, its market value could increase considerably, especially among error coin collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes. The market for Roosevelt dimes, particularly the 1982 issue, is robust as the series continues to be popular with collectors due to Roosevelt's iconic status and the relative ease of building a complete set. However, it's important to note that not all collectors are interested in dimes in dirty condition, and such coins typically fetch less than their mint condition counterparts. Next up, the 1977 Roosevelt dime with its D-Mint mark is another interesting coin in the Roosevelt dime series. This coin reflects a pivotal era in American history during the presidency of Jimmy Carter, a time marked by political and economic challenges. The 1970s were marked by high inflation, the oil crisis, and increasing global tension, but the coinage continued to follow its established patterns, with a focus on honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Roosevelt dime series is one of the most collected coin series in American numismatics. The 1977 dime was minted in large quantities, but it holds significant appeal due to its historical context and its status as part of the post-war series. The coin in good condition, which generally shows significant wear but still retains legibility, can command a fair market value, especially if it is sought after by collectors interested in early-year Roosevelt dimes. The 1977 dime had a relatively high mintage, with nearly 2.7 billion coins produced, so it is not considered rare in the traditional sense. However, it has continued to hold collector interest due to its status within the Roosevelt dime series and its historical significance. A 1977 Roosevelt dime in good condition may sell for a modest amount at auction. In today's market, such a coin can fetch between $4 and $12, depending on factors like the level of wear and collector demand. However, it's worth noting that even coins in lower conditions like good are still collectible, and they can appeal to those who wish to complete a Roosevelt dime set. As with other Roosevelt dimes, the design on the 1977 coin remains highly recognizable. The obverse features the famous portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt with his face turned to the left and surrounded by the inscription "Liberty in God, We Trust" and the year of issue. While the 1977 Roosevelt dime is not known for a significant number of errors, collectors still search for specimens that exhibit interesting features or unusual characteristics. These might include doubling, die cracks, or overstrikes, which could increase a coin's value considerably. In good condition, these errors are often harder to spot, but when they do appear, they can drive up the coin's auction value. Next up, the 1967 Roosevelt dime, especially in its circulated and dirty condition, holds a surprising market interest, though it might seem an unlikely candidate for high value. To understand why this coin stands out, let's take a look at its historical background, design features, and why even coins in less than ideal condition can garner significant value. The 1967 Roosevelt dime came during a pivotal moment in American history. The country was in the midst of the 1960s, a time marked by great social and political change. President Lyndon B. Johnson was in office, overseeing major legislation such as the Civil Rights Act and the establishment of Medicare. Amid these turbulent times, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins for circulation, with the Roosevelt dime acting as a critical part of the everyday American currency system. This coin, minted without a mint mark, is especially significant for a few reasons. First, in 1965, the U.S. Mint eliminated the use of silver in most dimes, quarters, and half dollars, making this the first time in American history that these coins were composed of a copper-nickel clad. By 1967, the coin had solidified its place in U.S. coinage as a symbol of Roosevelt's legacy. The market value of this coin today is higher than many would expect. In dirty or heavily circulated condition, the value primarily depends on the rarity of the coin in circulation, the specific minting process, and demand from collectors seeking older dimes. Collectors are often drawn to this coin for several reasons. Its association with President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was instrumental in leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II, adds to its allure. The 1967 dime's value increases with its unique history. And while it may be marked by wear and dirt, those very features can often signify the coin's long journey through circulation, making it more desirable for collectors who seek authenticity and historical context. When assessing a 1967 Roosevelt dime, collectors often examine its design closely. The obverse features a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, while the reverse shows a torch flanked by olive branches representing peace and an oak branch, symbolizing strength. The coin's simple design and the quality of the engraving on the dime's surface make it a standout in American numismatics. Though the coin in question is in dirty condition, it is not without value. Coins like this one are sometimes sold at auctions or private sales for a price higher than face value. The dirty condition, while reducing its grading, can make it more accessible to younger collectors who are just beginning their coin journey but want to own a piece of American history. The lack of a mint mark makes this specific 1967 dime more valuable as collectors look for those without mint designations, often treating these as rarer variants. In today's auction market, the 1967 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, even in dirty condition, can be valued anywhere from $50,000 depending on its overall appeal. If you happen upon one in decent shape, it could even fetch. Collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes are often more than willing to pay for the rarity and unique characteristics, including coins that tell the story of their time spent in circulation. Next up, move to another Roosevelt dime from a later year, the 1976 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark. While this coin shares similarities with the 1967 dime, it offers a slightly different story, shaped by the historical events of the 1970s and the specific minting process that set it apart. The year 1976 was an important one for the United States. It marked the bicentennial of the nation's independence, and various coins from this year were issued with special designs. While the Roosevelt dime didn't receive a special bicentennial design like the quarters and half dollars, it was still part of a year of celebration and transition. By this time, the U.S. Mint was fully engaged in producing clad coins, marking the last period of regular Roosevelt dime circulation before a shift in composition in the years that followed. Unlike the earlier coins, the 1976 dimes were issued with the same composition, a copper-nickel clad, which made it less rare in terms of precious metal content. However, the 1976 coin, particularly in its circulated, dirty state, has a strong connection to the larger historical context. For collectors, it can represent a period of economic challenges, such as inflation and energy crises, that affected the US. During the 1970s, the 1976 Roosevelt dime retains the basic features of the earlier series: Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse and the torch, olive branch and oak branch on the reverse. Despite the less exciting design, the 1976 coin has historical significance. Coins from this era, particularly those with wear and tear, attract collectors due to their historical resonance. Collectors love to speculate on the journey these coins may have gone through in the past, though the coin's value in circulated condition is still below significant premiums. It can be highly desirable when it's presented in certain contexts. Errors or variations in minting processes can also elevate the value of specific coins. The 1976 Roosevelt dime doesn't feature any major minting errors like some other coins, but minor imperfections or discrepancies in minting, coins with unusual wear patterns, or specific anomalies are frequently sought after by error coin collectors who are looking for those hidden gems that stand out in the collection world. This particular coin, in dirty condition, still finds its place in the market at auction. Its value typically ranges from $89,000 in auctions depending on its level of damage, rarity in the market, and the interest from collectors who seek the quirks of coins like this one. Next up, we'll explore one of the rarer and more valuable coins from the Roosevelt dime series, the 1966 Roosevelt dime, with the large date design and no mint mark, found in circulated condition. What makes this coin so unique, and why has it become a collector's favorite? The Roosevelt dime was introduced following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945, with the intention of honoring his legacy, particularly his role in Social Security. The coin replaced the Mercury dime, and its design by John R. Sinnock features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse. The reverse displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength. By 1966, the coinage was in full swing with regular releases across different mints. However, a notable characteristic of the 1966 dime is the large date and the absence of a mint mark, which is rare and attracts the attention of collectors. In 1966, the US Mint produced over 1.5 billion Roosevelt dimes, which were distributed across various circulation channels. The issue of the 1966 dime without a mint mark, meaning it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is significant because while the Philadelphia Mint didn't typically include mint marks on dimes at the time, it still stands out due to the large date. This large date variety has drawn much attention over the years. The large digits used on the year 1966 are significantly bigger than those on the standard small date variety, making this a rare error coin. Its distinguishing features, including the sharp contrast in the design, add to its appeal. While not considered a major error coin, like those with significant misstrikes or die errors, the large date variety still holds significant collector interest. The absence of a mint mark, combined with the larger date, creates a sense of rarity and value. Dime collectors and enthusiasts actively seek out these versions, which are often included in error and variety sets. Additionally, the coin's circulated condition plays a part in its value. A circulated coin, though showing signs of wear, can still fetch higher auction prices depending on the rarity and demand at the time. In today's auction market, a 1966 Roosevelt dime in circulated condition can be worth anywhere from $56,000, with well-preserved specimens or those with significant historical appeal, possibly fetching higher amounts. The price is heavily influenced by the current market trends, collector demand, and overall condition of the coin. Next up, we turn our attention to the 1974 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This version of the Roosevelt dime is another significant piece in the dime series, and though not as rare as some other versions, it still holds considerable value, particularly among collectors interested in coinage errors and variations. The year 1974 saw major events in American history, such as the end of the Vietnam War and the beginning of the Watergate scandal's fallout. The U.S. Mint continued producing Roosevelt dimes during this turbulent period, with the designs unchanged since their introduction in 1946. The 1974 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark stands out because, during this period, the Philadelphia Mint did not place mint marks on coins, even though other mints like Denver and San Francisco typically did. This is why coins from the Philadelphia Mint in this era are referred to as no mint mark dimes, and they remain valuable due to their association with this unique production era. The total mintage of the 1974 Roosevelt dime surpassed 800 million coins, making it less rare than other dates from the Roosevelt series. However, the presence of a no-mint mark version, often confused with those from other mints, adds a layer of intrigue for collectors. As with the 1966 version, the design features Roosevelt's bust on the obverse with the traditional reverse showing a torch, olive branch, and oak branch. However, the main distinction comes in the absence of a mint mark on the coin. The absence of a mint mark was common in Philadelphia Mint coins during this period, but collectors still find these coins fascinating due to their unique historical placement. The 1974 no mint mark is not considered a rare error, but it holds value as part of the broader Roosevelt dime collection. Some collectors focus on completing their sets with coins from all years, including those that lack mint marks, making the 1974 issue valuable despite its abundance. The circulated fine condition of this coin generally means it has some wear and tear, but it retains enough of the original design to make it an attractive collectible. The fine condition denotes moderate wear on the coin's surfaces, and such coins are still highly sought after by collectors looking to fill gaps in their sets. In today's market, the 1974 Roosevelt dime in fine condition without a mint mark typically ranges in value from $26,000 depending on factors such as demand and condition. Coins in better condition, or those with higher demand, can see prices closer to the top of this range. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!